Hello, it's Eric from E.M.B.R, and today we're doing stage 1 of the Zwift games, Makuri Madness. Felt this race would probably suit me, at least out of all the stages, but if you haven't heard yet, Makuri Madness is pure madness. It is full gas, all the way, front to back. Try to make it to the descent, only to find out that the descent isn't going to offer you any reprieve either. But I did my best. I know I'm a little out of my depth here. I won't bury the lead. This one pushed me to the limits and beyond, but hopefully you enjoy anyways. And as far as commentary goes, for the most part, I'm going to let this race speak for itself. It does a pretty good job of that. I do, at some key inflection points, add a little bit of color commentary. I'll put a bookmark in for that. But yeah, this race is probably best in its pure unadulterated carnage form. Make note of the time here, 7 minutes 27 seconds. First time the heart rate's over 180, and now let's see how long it stays there. And right here you see Kim Gwangseok going past me with the super high double cadence RPM. That got into my head. He's ruined a couple of races for me, and I knew he was going to lift the pace, and I was already on edge. So psychological, but also as a check-in, heart rate 186, and it's been there a while. My max is 192. This is not a good place. And that's honestly what probably got into my head as well. I was trying to catch a rest. He comes by and lifts the pace. I'm like, hey, I needed rest, not increase in pace. And here with Kim and others driving the pace at the front so hard, you try to catch a rest and you just fall off the back. I got to kick up, put power down just to try to close the gap. It's starting to get ugly. And that's a frustration yell, power yell. I'm definitely at the limit, 186. And I badly need some rest here to let the heart rate come down. So I'm trying to get off the power a little bit and let the draft and the slope carry me, but it's just not working. They're still driving pace hard at the front, and in order to keep with it, I've got to drive pace too. And so here what I'm trying to do is kick up power, like a hard hit, surge into the middle of the pack, and draft down. This will normally work. The problem here is that Kim and others are still driving 6-7 watts per kg up at the front. And so not only do I not surge into the middle of the pack and catch draft, a gap forms, and good night, race over.
Unbelievable.
And I know if you watch that, it probably looks like you could catch on. Just the little punch of power. I literally had nothing. It's just where it was. I needed that surge to carry me, and it did not. And after that gap formed, I pretty much shut it down for the rest of the descent. I mean, I'm not closing that gap. The chase is 20 seconds behind me. Race is pretty much over. I'm not necessarily quitting. I'm not going to DNF it, but there wasn't really much point in pushing anymore. Like, save it for another day, basically. So because of that, I'm going to pretty much time-lapse the rest of this up into the finish and then cut to sort of the E.M.B.R epilogue that I usually do after a race. Just my thoughts and what happened and what's next.
Good Lord.
And here's the overall results for all stages so far of Makuri Madness. This was the fastest one so far, so there's some consolation there.
Alright, that was clearly 100% cracked. I mean, you get dropped on a descent, you are cracked. And that was me. And honestly, if I hung on just barely, there's no recovering from that. I said the fire socks killed it. I was gonna get dropped. But Kim Gwangseok, habitual 150 RPM, 200 RPM spin bike, multiplying cadence. I saw him go through. What I know is at least 6 watts a kg, and then he'll burst up to 8. That's just how he rides. He's ruined a few of my races. But when I saw him drive to the front, I knew the pack, who was in better shape, could follow that, but it would drive the speed up, and I was already, not pinky thin, pin thin, elastic at that point, and it just snapped. So it's not really, again, I was going to get dropped, or if I hung on, I would have got dropped in the lead up to the corkscrew or on the corkscrew. I was too high into my limit for too long on the flat. That's just hard. And that's when you see on a given A race, not packed, not slammed, just random sample, I'm a top 10, maybe podium if the course favors me, my legs are good. On a high A race, stacked and full, I am middle of the pack at best. That's just reality of being 53 and having good 2-minute and below power, but really needing to work on 5-minute and 20. Which I am. I'll pull it out. Again, realism, not fatalism. I'm never going to catch, at this age, the top of the top. But I can get more competitive, better than I am today. And that's always the goal. When I looked at these, I don't know, a couple weeks ago, when they released them, I thought, this one should be the one that favors me the most. I never, it didn't matter, I didn't take the back half of my cars because I was so stressed. Should have known there's going to be zero opportunity to take on cars. I had to take them on all before, or else I know better. But on a longer race with some of the descents or zone 2s, you can do half front and then another bit in the middle, but I thought optimistically I'd get a chance to do it on the descent. I wanted to make it to the corkscrew before I got dropped. That was the goal. Well, goal was to make it to the sprint. I knew that was a stretch goal. I thought I could make it to the corkscrew. And I was that damn close. I got to the descent and hung on. I believe we'd have made it to the bottom of the corkscrew and then got hammered off the back. But that would have kept me away from the second group. And a more respectable finish, time-wise. You had what you had. I mean, I came in rested. There's no excuses other than I'm just not that fit. I'm just not that fit. I'm fit. I'm in, near peak fitness for myself, but I'm not that fit. That was the upper limits of what I can do. We'll see what I know my heart rate will agree. We'll see if the 5-minute power agrees. Whew. What the hell, bro? Ow. I didn't realize till I stood up. Ha. Did not realize till I stood up that my glutes are freaking shot. Holy Moses. Fine, I'm broken. I shouldn't say fine. Holding on for dear life, holding on for dear life, holding on for dear life, holding on fire socks, holding on for dear life. I made it to the descent. I'm broken. And here's why. I gotta believe something there. Yeah, I get like 7.5. Just realistically, that whole stretch, 12 minutes. Right to the point where basically my body says, yeah, that was a PB for basically from 6:30 out to, yeah, that's where I fell off. But call that 6.5 minutes sitting at basically a PB effort, and then just broken. And then just broken. It's not a 5-minute PB as it turns out, because it just, but everything after that, right about there. 357 seems appropriate. Felt like got popped by a 357.
And here's intervals. The main thing here is if you look at heart rate zones, that long block of red basically from maybe the 7-minute mark to the 11-minute or so, that's what broke me. Just can't sustain that for that duration. And all that being said, realistically being at my limits before I got dropped on the descent, it just doesn't feel right. So I'm taking a rest day tomorrow. I'm going to do it again Thursday, and we'll hope we can improve. Wish me luck, and we'll see you then.